Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, are you like me and you like to kind of change up old blocks, the designs? You like to make them look a little different or get a new take on them? Well, if you do, you've chosen the right video because that's what we're going to do today. This block here is the Quatrefoil, very traditional, very beautiful. But today I'm going to show you how to update that just a little bit and give it a more geometric look. Plus, I'm going to show you a second take on that block. And we're going to take a little bit of a trip to the National Quilt Museum. I have some photos to show you all, some slides of some garments that are there that I think you're going to love. Hi, everybody. I'm Diana from Sew in Common. I'm the owner and designer and educator here, and I love that you have chosen to watch this video with us, and I wanted to say hi to everyone. But let's get started, shall we? In fact, I think what I would like to do first, instead of taking a look directly at our quilt block, I would like us to go on that little bit of a tour of the National Quilt Museum. I'm just going to flip over to share with you all. And here we are. This jacket and the lovely tunic under it and the pants, all made by an artist named Marilyn Badger, B-A-D-G-E-R. Marilyn and another woman have this big gallery full of beautiful quilts, but they also added some quilted pieces that are garments, and I thought you would like to see them. Now, I know you can't see this too close up, but this has some beautiful micro quilting on it, and all of these fabrics were hand dyed, so I thought that was lovely. Here is a whole ensemble dress and bolero. All of these flowers are beautiful raw edge applique. So for those of you that don't like raw edge applique, this might change your mind. All raw edge really does, that tiny bit of fraying we might get around the edges, it just gives our pieces dimension and a little bit of a 3D effect to it. So don't turn your nose up at raw edge applique, because it really can be beautiful, as we see here in this garment. Again, all of this fabric was colored and dyed by the artist, and she added, of course, the little bit of netting lace here on the collar and cuffs, but it really is a gorgeous garment. And again, all of the micro quilting that's done in this jacket was just sensational. And I wanted to show you these today because a lot of times when we think of the Quilt Museum, we think only quilts, but no, there are also these beautiful garments. Here's another lovely jacket. Now this has a little bit of a shell underneath, or what we used to call a shell back in the day underneath it. That matches, all in beautiful silks and all hand dyed and hand colored. And again, all of this is beautiful micro quilting, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous jacket. And then I have another, here we go. Now this is another, this was probably my favorite. There is a loop right here that buttons this. So it kind of gives a little of a cross style buttoning, but I just adored it. And I loved it because in this one, it's got raw edge applique that you see here in these pictures on the jacket here on the shoulder and here. And this actually goes up and over the back. And right down here, these are pieces that are just pieced together and added in as a bit of a panel. And I'm sorry I don't have fronts and backs. You're actually going to see these in much more detail when I put out this part of the video. Dave took these pictures so that I would have the stills to show you, but the video for this is coming up, and I do show you these a little more close up so that you can see all the beautiful quilting and stuff. But just an overall idea of how beautiful all of those were created. But again, lots of raw edge applique on them. In fact, there was a lady there who stopped to talk to me, and she said these had inspired her to try raw edge on her quilts. And I think that's an awesome idea. Alrighty, so let's move that back in. So that was just a little taste, a little tidbit of what's going to be coming in some of the video footage that I took at the National Quilt Museum. You're going to love it. But now we're going to talk about a new take on the Quatrefoil block. And of course, the Quatrefoil block is our June block of the month. And I'll tell you all about how you can get yours in a little bit. Now, if you watch some of the short videos that I did this week, one of them, I showed you this variation of the Quatrefoil. It is the exact same lobe, center square, outer squares, just like that. But now, let's see. No, I guess I'll hold this one up. But how I did this one, instead of doing the point and the rectangle all in one color, all you do is split your colors, and whatever color you do in the point, you do on your 4 blocks on the corner. Now let's look at our original Quatrefoil. In the original Quatrefoil, your corners are your 4 patches. But in this variation, I took the center square file from the file set and made them into my corners. So this is just very geometric. You wouldn't even know that that was based off the Quatrefoil, not really. So if you're looking for something that is much more geometric, this might be something you want to try. Now, there's no supplemental out on the website for this one because it's so simple. Just switch out your 4 patches for your solid squares, and on your lobes, make your rectangles and your points different. That's all. It was really simple to do. Okay, so that was one, and I showed you that one briefly in one of the videos this week, the shorts videos. If you don't watch those shorts videos, please watch them because they're full of quick little tips and tricks. And then later on, I might expand on them more in the full videos. But now I want to show you this week's, and there is a supplement out on the website for this one. And I'll tell you how to get it, of course, in a bit, just picking a little bit of thread off of it that I left on there. This is the new one that I created. So I redigitized this one. All I did was redigitize the lobe. And here in a second, we'll go under the camera and I'm going to show you how this put together and how I digitized that lobe. Okay. But in this one, you know, I kind of described it as more of a flower effect because these little pieces are like a flower coming out in different colors. But really, when I step back and look at it, this one is very geometric as well. And I love it. It's like a square and a square and a square on an on-point square. I loved how this one turned out. So we're going to go under the camera now, and I'm going to show you basically how I set this block up, and we'll talk more about the different lobe, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how you can get your blocks. Okay, so let's go on over to the other camera. Okay, so here we are with the block, and I want to kind of go through the layout of it and the creation of the new lobe with you. Okay, so just like in our original Quatrefoil, let me bring in that block real quick. Here we go. Here's the original. The row starts out at the top or at the bottom, whichever you want to look at it. Let me see if I can get this camera a little bit better for you to see. There we go. With a 4 patch. And I will link how to do the 4 patches. That little video that I did, I'll link that at the end of this video so that you all see it, because it's really helpful and it really will help you get your centers. I'll show you that on the new one as well. So you start out with a 4 patch, then you do the lobe, what we're calling the lobe. And the lobe is really easy because it's one fabric done in 2 pieces. So your top piece here is like your
kind of like a flying geese unit, and then you add on the rectangle. And I did it in two parts so that if you want to play with these fabrics, you can do so. And that's kind of what we did in the variation A that I'm going to show you today. And then whatever you use for your white or light fabric was also the fabric you used there on your flying geese units. Then your second row, your center row of the traditional quatrefoil are 2 lobes pointing east and west and a solid center block. And then whatever you've done up here at the top, you repeat at the bottom. So pretty easy layout. And that really is the exact layout that we're going to do with the new variation block. Okay, so we have our 4 patches in the 4 corners, and then we have a solid center again. Now I'll talk to you about this in a second. And then we have our lobes, north, south, east, and west. However, with these lobes, I've redigitized them so that you have, actually let me there, I think that's easier for you to see. I'm sorry if it was backwards. I don't think it really matters, but on this one, but let's make sure. There we go. Alrighty, so let's look at the lobe here. The lobe is the same, except now what was a single rectangle has been split into 2 pieces. A wide rectangle and then a very thin rectangle. And the reason I did this, the reason I wanted to play with this way is because originally I was thinking, if you think about a flower, it starts as a color in the center and then it comes out. A lot of times there's some yellow in there, and then it will work out into the petals. Now when I finished this, it really did not turn out to look like a flower. It really looks like a square in a square in a square in a square on point, which is kind of cool, I think. I kind of like that. Now, if you were to make these squares here the same color as your little line here, this piece, you would get a full closed off box, but you could play with it, I guess. In the lobe itself, I went from light to dark, but you can do what you like. There's no rule saying you have to go from light to dark. I could have flipped the values here and gone light, dark, and then the lighter aqua color. And I could have done, again, a solid yellow or something like that in the center, like I did here. But I kind of wanted to stay with the same colors and the same color values as we see in the rest of the block. So this was actually a piece of fabric that I just had basically not even a fat 1/9 left of it. It was almost just a large scrap piece. But the reason I like it is this is darker, but it's still in this same minty, tealish, aqua greenish color. And then inside these little pieces, this color and this color really go with these 2 colors I chose here. And then I just chose a lighter value in my 4 patches. So with the new lobe, you're going to piece it the exact same way you did with the traditional block, except you're going to have an extra piece here. So you're going to do your center here, your point, then you're going to do your 2 wing pieces, then you're going to do this rectangle and this rectangle, and that's all available in the new pattern set that I'll tell you how to get here in a little bit when we flip back over on the camera. Now, I did want to show you how perfectly these points turn out when you use the technique that I gave you last week. It really works beautifully. And in comparison, I accidentally made my first 2 patches. I had to do them singly because I forgot to adjust for this setup. And so on this one, I sewed it together myself. And although this does not bother me in the least, you can see where my point is kind of off just a tiny bit. I mean, they're right there together, but they look a little bit off in comparison to the rest of these. And that's because when we turn this over, you can see that I accidentally overlapped my fabric colors a little bit. And when I did that, it got off a little bit. But honestly, it's still, this color point is just, I mean, it's not even a hair away, but it's enough that some people will be able to tell if they're really looking, but it didn't bother me at all. But I love how this turns out. And then the other thing I want to share with you all is, because I know somebody's going to say, "Oh, I see wrinkles." Well, one, it's not been fully pressed yet, but the other reason is because I still have my stabilizer in the back of my wash away. And I want to give you some tips on that, because I'm doing a full video, or it might actually end up being a couple of parts, a two-part video. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm still working on it, because I've been experimenting with the best way to remove your water-soluble stabilizer. Now, again, I think if you're just going to take off the pieces along your edges to get rid of bulk in the seams, use your water pen. I mean, I did. However, when we were doing the log cabin last month, this is when I really was working on this new technique, I took out every last bit of my stabilizer before I put it all together, and it really helped. Now you can see all the black thread that I did from doing demos and all, but it really took the bulk out of this. And look at how this just lays, just like fabric is supposed to, because there's absolutely no stabilizer residue, nothing left in it. And you can see with this one, with the stabilizer in it, it doesn't quite lay the way your fabric does. I think it's fine this way, but I'm going to be doing that video to help you with a new technique that I've come up with. I've kind of combined some techniques and worked out some timing and all to help you get out all of this wash away stabilizer, which is really now my favorite way to go. But a tip I'll give you when doing wash away stabilizer, do not press it with any kind of moisture. Don't spray it, don't use steam. Otherwise, your stabilizer is going to start to want to dissolve, and what it does is it shrinks up your blocks into a little gooey mess. Ask me how I know, because mine turned out to be just a nightmare when I was working on this technique. I ruined like 3 or 4 blocks trying to figure it out. However, when all of this comes out, this will press out beautifully, just like it did for my log cabin. Okay, you can still get this pattern and all those pieces over at the website as well. So don't use any kind of moisture when you're pressing these out unless you've completely removed the stabilizer. So like if I'm using my water pen just to take out the pieces that are in my seam so that I don't have that bulk, remove the whole piece. Okay, and this is nice to have with you if you're like going somewhere and stuff like that. But this new technique I'm doing the video pieces for are just work much better, and I really like how it turned out. But so I wanted to share that with you, but I also wanted to share with you how I laid this out and just kind of briefly go over the new lobe part. So in the new instructions that you're going to be able to pick up, you're just getting cutting instructions, and you're getting the lobe digital files, and you're getting something brand new. You're getting our new coloring sheet. Our coloring sheet, you can print off as much as you like, but I put it out there so that you can print it off. Take your color pencils, your crayons, and color it in to try colors. Try to kind of help you out when you're trying to figure out colors instead of fabrics and stuff like that. So like when I did this one, I did my colors and all in solids, obviously. So we can talk about that some more. But I wanted to let you know that's something new that's going to start coming with all of the blocks. So, and I'll talk about that again. But that's how that goes. And so now we're going to flip back over and we'll finish our video.
Okay, so wasn't that easy to put this new lobe together? Very, very simple to do. And there is a supplement now out on the website for this block but all it is, let me just remind you, all it is you're getting the new pattern for this lobe. There we go, for the lobe. And then all the rest of this comes from the original Quatrefoil block. So you will need to grab your free June block of the month for the original Quatrefoil, and then you can grab the new supplement for this Quatrefoil, which gives you the cut instructions for fabric and a layout template, and it will give you the digital file for this lobe. Okay, all the other digital files come from the original one, and you can get all of those, of course, at the website. Oops, that's my email, sorry. At the website, www.sewingcommon.com. And again, all of our blocks of the month and their supplements have been free throughout the year. Grab them while you can, because at the end of 2023, all of those are going away. They might return as sets and stuff, but they won't be free any longer. So get them while you can, okay? And I would love to see what you all do with this. And now I have one new piece that I want to share with you, starting with the supplement for the Quatrefoil block. I am going to start putting in a diagram that can be used as a coloring sheet. Why do I want to color them, Diana? Of course, I know somebody's asking that. Well, here's the reasoning. So when I was trying to figure out my color layout, I was doing it in software. So it was really easy for me to play with colors and all, but not everybody has software. I don't know how everybody's software works. I only know how my software works. So I'm giving you this coloring sheet so you can print off a couple of copies if you want. One that, it'll always be a digital file, so you can print off a fresh one, but print yourself off a couple and use your crayons, your coloring pencils, your markers, whatever you like, and try out different color combinations, because I know that's a question we get a lot. How should I put colors together and stuff? And there are tons of rules about color theory. And I have shared in the past one of my favorite ways to match colors, and that's by going and grabbing some color chips from the paint store, because they've done all the color theory for me and I can just match them up how I like them. But for something like this, I thought, well, I know a lot of us as quilters and artists in other venues have colored pencils or crayons sitting around. So why not give you all a coloring sheet and so that you can kind of try it out, see what you like. Now, of course, you won't be able to put your fabrics in there, your prints, but you'll get the idea if the colors works together. So like on our original Quatrefoil this month, if I were going to color this out, every single fabric in there is a print. Now, I can't duplicate those prints in my coloring and stuff, but I can color my center in as yellow, this part of my lobes in as orange, these two squares in the 4 patches white, these two is green, and then I can get the idea, does that coloring work? Okay, so on this one, everything is a print except for the yellow. Yes, even the white is a print. In fact, this print here is the same print as the white, but you don't see, you'll see it a little more if I bring it up close. But so it's a print on print kind of a thing. And everything, and this part is a solid too. So this and this is solid. Everything else in there is a print as well. But when I colored it out, I was just using solid colors to see if I liked those color values together. And I thought you guys will like that to help you out on that. Would you please comment or on this video when you get that, if you like that idea, or if you know now that that's going to be helpful for you, would you please comment, because I'd love to hear from you all. I thought I would start adding that in to all the patterns. So you'll get your first one for the Quatrefoil new take, okay, for this one. But of course you could use it for, coloring in and trying out for your original as well. Or even if you're going to try this one, you can use it for that as well, okay? So instead of coloring your 4-patch in, just color it all one color, right? Easy. So I hope you like that. Please let me know in the comments. Please watch the shorts videos. There's so much information in them, and I don't want you all to miss stuff, okay? So please give those a look. Again, go to the website to pick up your patterns. If you need to contact me, you can contact me at support@sewincommon.com. And of course, my Facebook page or my Instagram account. If you want to catch things on Instagram or Facebook, both of those are Sew in Common. So you can check those out in either place. I'd love to have you as a follower in both of those places. Following just helps the metrics and stuff to boost stuff out there so you see it easier. And for all things, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. No, last weekend, oh my goodness, you guys went crazy subscribing, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and a huge welcome again to all of the new subscribers to the channel. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. We were on vacation, and occasionally when I would look to see, that everything was okay, there were no questions coming in and stuff, I just saw the subscribers numbers just going crazy. And I just can't thank you all enough. And you all seem to like last week's video. I love that you did. So we will also be doing more of those. I have another one of those tricks like I did with the 4-patch coming up also for another block. So please subscribe, click the bell to get notified. And one more thing I'll let you all know, that we've got the new product coming out. And I will tell you, we have chosen a name and a winner too, but I'm not telling you today because it's not time yet. That is going to get the prize package. I haven't chosen the other runners up and all yet because we're thinking about doing something extra there. Again, I can't tell you. I'm just going to tease you about it. The only thing I'm waiting for is a piece of marketing material to come in that I've had to order. And I haven't decided. If it hasn't come in by the end of the month, will I wait till the first week in July? Maybe, because I want everything to be there, right? So it's either going to be that last day of the month or that first Sunday in July. We're working on those dates, those exact dates. But we have chosen a winner and a name. I can't thank the person who we chose enough because it seemed like she and I were on the exact same wavelength. So that's all great. All right, everybody, enjoy making the Quatrefoil or playing with it and doing that geometric version of it, or the new version with the whole new digitized Lobe of it. And as always, Sew Life Beautiful. Post your photos over at Facebook so that I can share them all with you. And until next time, again, Sew Life Beautiful, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.